What up, IDS Mob? Welcome to the Introvert Dating Success Show. I'm your host, Harry Wilmington. And on today's show, we're going to be doing another date analysis, but this time we're going to be gearing it towards the subject of casual dating. Should you be doing casual dating, or should you be dating with the intent or purpose of getting into a relationship and eventually a long-term partnership? Now, this is a subject that for you guys that are looking for a long-term relationship, your answer is probably already nope. I don't want to do casual relationships. That's not a thing I want to do because it's not going to get me to where I want to go, and that's just wasting my time. And what I want to press to you guys is I want you to start reconsidering the way you think about the term casual dating. Because in my opinion, all dating should start off as casual. And I'm thinking the biggest mistake that guys make is they go into every situation thinking this has got to be the one that works out. And as a result of that, they put so much pressure on themselves as well as their dating partner to have to make this work that it makes it not fun for the woman. The guy can start coming off too needy, pressing, like it's too much pressure too soon for her to have to make a decision about him, and it can chase her off. And most women, when they start off dating a guy, for them, it's a very casual thing because you got to think about how women date. They have so many guys that are coming towards them. They can't just go on every single date assuming this is going to be the one. They need time to vet all of these guys. And so they take it casually because it gives them time to properly look at the guys that they're dating and see if there's a connection, see if there's chemistry, see how he's treating her, seeing if he's respectful, and seeing what kind of behavior she's going to show before she can finalize on what her decision is going to be. And so if you're able to slow down a bit and be more casual in the beginning, then that'll allow the woman the journey she needs to eventually start to feel like maybe you could be a long-term prospect, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over an example. I'm gonna go over the example of this guy today. He's older guy and he's 36. He's recently divorced, and so he has 2 kids. He was with his previous wife for 15 years before they got divorced, and so now he's back out on the dating market, and he's having a couple situations happen whereby he's able to get dates, but most of them aren't leading towards second dates. And the dates that he's been on, he kind of breaks down what happened, and more importantly, what the women said caused them to not want to continue to date him. And it's an eye-opener because it's some of the things that I have talked about on this show that sometimes I get fought on or get told those shouldn't be things, but they are things that are actually chasing women away. So we're gonna get into all of that, okay? And also the reason I do this is because I have a dating program at my website called the Introvert Dating Success Academy. It's a 12-week academy that basically helps you guys figure out your dating life. We do one-on-one phone calls once a week where you can talk to me about your dating life and what's going on, and I can help you out, figure out some of the things that aren't working for you. And it also comes with a 12-part video program that goes along with it so you can get more insights into how to go from meeting a woman, how to be able to talk to her, how to get her phone number, how to be able to get her on a date, what kind of dates to take her on, how to analyze where she's at on her feelings, and how to handle when various situations arise in the process of dating somebody, all the way up to knowing when and how to get into a relationship and how to have those kind of conversations so you can further solidify your relationship with the person. If you've had trouble in that area, I encourage you to go to the website and look at the long sales page that is available for you to look at for that particular program. If you like what you see and you think it'd be a good fit, you can apply for the program, and then we can have a one-on-one conversation about what that would entail in terms of me being able to help you out, all right? Also, for the month of February, if you go to my website and you get any of my programs, any of my ebooks, audiobooks, programs, etc., it comes with a free 7-day, week-long free email coaching from yours truly as well, okay? So you can take advantage of that simply by going to the website and purchasing any of my products that you see on the products page. So let's go ahead and get into this guy's situation. So I'm gonna start at the part where he talks about signing up for online dating. I've already given you a basic summary of what's going on. He's divorced, he has 2 kids, he's back out dating, and the way that people are dating now is newer to him and different than how it was when he dated his now ex-wife, all right? So he says, I signed up for online dating about 10 months ago with no idea what I was doing or looking for. It's definitely different than when I last dated 17 years ago. I've been told I'm a catch in regards to online dating. I feel like I'm fairly active, have a good job, well-dressed, am intelligent, though I know I have a really dry and weird sense of humor. Okay, so I want to say this, because there are plenty of guys out there that'll say this thing like, oh, I have a dry, sarcastic, weird, odd sense of humor. The fact that you're adding those adjectives to that should let you know that that could be an off-putting thing to some of the women you're going out with. Does this mean you need to completely change yourself? No, but it does mean you might want to consider refining how you dole out your humor to women, especially early on. You having a weird or odd sense of humor is subjective, but that's one of those things that you can figure out how to manage a little bit better, and you can also, reveal some bit more bits of that humor as you get to know her, and you get to figure out what her style of humor is, what she may be into more so, and whatnot. Because I have certain parts of my humor that I find hilarious. I can have a very dark, sick, twisted sense of humor at times, but I also know that for some women, heck, some of my male friends are like, hey, like, I don't want to hear those kind of jokes. And you kind of got to know your audience, because realistically, you don't have to say every single thought that's in your head or every single joke that you think of if the other person is going to be kind of creeped out by it. All right. Anyway, continuing on, he says, I've gone on dates with about 15 women and only actually really like 2 of them. I haven't had issues matching and finding women willing to go on a date, but I haven't been interested in most of them. So he goes into one of the women. So he says, the first one I liked was the third woman, who was 32. I met in person about a month into online dating. I'll admit I'm a pretty unusual guy, and she was the first person I met that I could not only feel comfortable being my normal weird/goofy self around, but she was the same and joined right in. So that's good that you were able to kind of feel that out and be able to have somebody that's on the same level. That's always a good thing to suss out in the course of a first date. He says, she quickly suggested a second date at her place, but then canceled the day before and asked if I wanted to be friends because we got along so well. So she had a great first date with him, and then somehow when he asked for a second date, her response was basically, let's just be friends. What could have possibly happened? Let's discover. He says, so they became friends, and later she let me know that she had backed out because she was also recently divorced and had really just been looking for something casual. She said that it was off-putting that I would always quickly respond to texts, frequently texted with her for hours at a time, and that I wasn't sexually forward. Okay, so before I get into reading the rest of this is just the first part of her explanation as to why they didn't continue dating. But notice what she said. She said she was recently divorced. So women that are recently divorced typically aren't trying to date or in the thought process of dating to rush into another relationship. More often than not, they're going out to date to kind of get some of their confidence back, to maybe meet a nice guy, and just to hang out from time to time. Now, you going into dating a divorced woman, does that mean that you should assume that she's not going to want to be serious? My answer is no. It could eventually turn to seriousness, but the caveat is that it's at her timing. If you as the guy are going into this knowing that she's divorced and trying to push her and rush her into another relationship, she's going to feel like it's definitely too much. She just got out of something and she may not be ready for that, for the turmoil and responsibility that oftentimes comes with being in a super serious relationship. So she might need time to spend with you to eventually convince herself that, you know what, I know I just got out of this marriage like 3 or 4 months ago, but I'm really feeling this guy. He hasn't rushed me. I feel comfortable with him. And you know what? I think I now want to make this a thing. So it always goes back to, she has to want it to be a thing that she's actually going to be into in order to make it work for you. But if you try to rush it, then you're not going to get the results that you want. So understand that when women say they're looking for something casual, what that should let you know is that they want to take things at a slower pace. And a lot of times women will say that because most men are trying to rush them into a relationship. After 2 or 3 dates, we're all ready to practically wipe them up and claim them as the girlfriend, and they need more time. So they need it to be casual in the beginning, and then as you start to do more of the right things and she starts to want to spend more time with you, she starts saying that the sex is great, that you treat her great, that the dates are great, that your conversations are amazing, she'll start to think of her own accord, I really like this guy, and I know it's been casual, but is he seeing other people? Because do I want him to be seeing other people? I don't think I want that. Maybe I should go to him and ask him about being in a relationship. Like, it's really that simple, guys, okay? And then she said the thing about it was off-putting that he would quickly respond to texts, frequently texted, and that I wasn't sexually forward. Now, keep in mind, they've only had 1 date. So that means from the time he met her online, they were texting back and forth constantly, and then they probably set up the date, and then he was probably still texting back and forth constantly. And then they had that first date, had a good time. She got home, and what did he do? He sent the, hope you had a good night text. I had a good time too. And then continued to text, leading up to asking her for that second date. All that texting does is make a woman feel more and more like you're trying to pressure her into this being a relationship. This is why I tell you guys, you only want to use texting for setting up dates. And that's also why I tell you guys, you want to space out the time between when you take her out and when you ask for that next date. On average, I say a minimum of 4 days. But the point is, that's to allow her the time that she needs to breathe a little bit and so she can think about you. Which reminds me, the other part of this, she goes on to say, the other guys at the same time, quote, gave her time to miss them and were also coming at her much stronger in regards to flirting and being sexually suggestive. So what I tell you guys all the time, that women need time to miss you, because giving them time to miss you allows them of their own accord to start thinking about you, wondering about you, getting anxious about when they're gonna hear from you again. And that all builds desire in her that will make her subconsciously think, if I'm worrying about him and thinking about him and anxious about him, it must mean that I really like him. And that will make a woman feel like she's naturally developing feelings for you. But if you're texting her all the time, it's like subconsciously, the subconscious thing that she's reading back is, this guy's forced me to talk to him. This guy's forced me to communicate with him. This guy's always in my face. I can never get a break from him. Those are not the feelings you want a woman to have when you're trying to get to know her. And then also think about being flirty and sexually suggestive. It's a balance of, you leave her alone for a while, and then when you get with her, you're doing things that are enhancing her feelings for you and her desire to want to be with you in a physical way. Men that are apprehensive about making physical moves make women nervous, because on some level it's saying, I don't know how to handle you physically. And a woman does not need that thought in her head about you, okay? So you need to be open to doing these light touches early on. There's a whole touch build. I've talked about this in my Introvert Dating Success Academy. I talk about the various ways you can go about building touch to where a woman's going to feel naturally like it's time for those touches to happen, up to where you start doing things to indicate that you want to go to the bedroom, okay? And that's what this woman's saying, is that other guys know how to flirt better and be more aggressive sexually, because even women that want sex, they're gonna hint and flirt and, assume that when she does those things, that you're gonna know what move to take it to next. But if you don't, again, my program, Introvert Dating Success Academy, goes into how to do those things as well. Continuing, he says, we're still friends and hang out, so that's cool, but that's all it will be. I recently asked her for dating advice, not as open as all this, and she said she thought I needed to just learn to be happy alone. Not exactly what I was looking for, but I did stop at putting so much pressure on myself. So, we're very literal. So when a woman says, be happy alone, you might think it means you need to be alone forever. But that's not really what she's trying to translate here, okay? That's what it sounds like to us. But what she's saying is, you need to be happy with yourself as a person. If you can't be happy just by yourself, then what you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna be trying to seek out women to be able to make you happy. And it's not women's job to make you happy. It's women's job to add to your happiness, but you as a person already need to be happy and content with yourself. And that a lot of times means, as a guy, having to know what your purpose is, chasing that purpose, not letting people throw you off path of what that purpose is. It means developing your hobbies and, really working on yourself to where you know that you're a catch. That way, if at any given time a woman comes along, whether she likes you or not, it's not gonna throw you, because you already know as a person that you're absolutely great, okay? Now, he says the second woman was a woman who was 35, who I still think might be the funniest woman I've ever met. Our conversations would go on forever, and we would be so crazy and silly. She didn't mind me texting so much at first. We dated a month and a half, but never had sex. So clearly this means this guy has an issue with either being able to flirt properly, be suggestive sexually, or it could just be that he's waiting for the right person to come along and doesn't know how to communicate that to a woman, that hey, I like you, but until we get into a relationship, I don't want to just hook up with you. And some women will be totally fine with that, but the point is, those are things that need to be talked about and discussed, because a woman might just be thinking, you just don't know what you're doing, or maybe he's secretly gay, or a number of other things that women might read in her head that indicate, regardless, that she's not going to be attracted to you because she's looking at you as if you don't know what to do sexually when she's in your area, okay? Continuing, he says, I knew she was seeing other people, and I'll admit it made me anxious. Well, in the beginning of dating, most women are probably doing that. Again, most women on average get offers constantly. So you might be lucky number 3 out of 10 guys, but that doesn't mean that she can't be attracted to you. It just means she needs to have these other guys take her out also, to be able to really figure out for herself which guy is going to work out the best for her. And you should be doing the same thing as a guy. You should be not just trying to be like, I'm going to get one woman on a date and that's it. You should have like 2 or 3 dates lined up during the course of a week. Yes, even if you're an introvert that doesn't like having a lot of energy expounded on dating, in the beginning of dating, you could just set it to where you have like a date or 2 a week. And those dates don't have to last long. I tell you guys, they shouldn't last more than like an hour to 90 minutes tops. So don't think you're gonna be doling out all this extra energy. You really shouldn't be. You should be keeping your dates short. You shouldn't be making them overly extravagant. And they should be really focused on talking and getting to know somebody. And 60 minutes to 90 minutes is not a lot of time, even for an introvert and his energy, all right? Continuing, he said, on our last date, I had a little too much to drink, told her how excited I was to have met someone so fun, and started suggesting moving things forward physically. She left shortly afterward looking troubled and broke things off a few days later, saying that I was really fun and thoughtful, but she had a stronger connection with someone else. Also, that I needed to slow down on texting after we had been on a couple of dates, that it was unsustainable. And I've had so many women friends of mine like tell me this, where they'll be dating a guy and they're like, Harry, I like the guy, I enjoy talking to him, but he'll be texting me when I'm at work. He'll text me first thing in the morning. He'll text me when I'm trying to decompress from my day at work. He'll text me when I'm out with my friends, when I'm trying to hang with my family. Like, I have a whole other life outside of this guy that I just met, and he's trying to galvanize all of it by texting me all the time. And it's very hard for me to sustain that level of texting. Why? Because as much as we think that women are on their phones all the time, it might be for just scrolling on TikTok or the internet or whatever, but they're not consistently on there trying to talk all day with their friends, let alone with a new guy that they just met. And her not trying to text you all the time doesn't mean she doesn't like you, but a lot of guys feel as though if they're not constantly in front of a woman's face, that they're going to she's going to lose interest in them and lose attraction. And I keep telling you guys, it's far from that. This is why I say, you need to use the phone, specifically if you're texting, to get dates and leave the majority of your talking and you're catching up with the woman for in person, when she can get a collective of what's actually going on. She can read into what you're saying and not take things offensively. She can hear you say certain jokes that come across better in person than they would on text. It's just a variety of reasons why you need to really just stay the heck off the phone. And there are some of you younger guys that'll say things like, but everybody my age is on Snapchat and on WhatsApp and messaging all the time. Yes, because women like to have a social life, but her texting you doesn't mean that she likes you. And I myself, I'm 40 now. I've still been able to date women that are like 24 and older, like in the realm of like 20s to like late 30s. And across the board, I have yet to be punished for not texting women consistently. But I've been rewarded for texting for when I want to get dates, or for responding when she texts me first, but rarely do I reach out, okay? So again, you over texting, there are 2 women here now that have complained. And I've done plenty of other shows where I've given examples of women complaining about the fact that a guy that they initially liked is texting them too much and is turning them off. So start to understand the point that that is not necessary, okay? But also, again, all this texting does what? It makes it feel like a less casual thing to her, because it's almost like saying, by me texting you all the time, we're already in a relationship, and as such, I now need you all the time to respond back to me. That sounds like you're forcing a woman to do an action she doesn't want to do, which is going to make it less casual for her, which makes it less fun. And I keep stressing, again, casual in the beginning can lead to serious in the long run, okay? So this is why you don't want to have conversations like on date 2 of like, so are you looking for something serious? Well, like, she's on a date with you, dude. As long as she's saying yes to dates with you, you're good. As long as she's having sex with you, you're good. As long as she's not flaking on you, as long as she's continuing to have a jovial time with you and laugh at your jokes, stuff like that, you are good. You do not need to rush this. At the point where those things start to fall off, that lets you know that she's losing interest, but oftentimes that stuff will start to fall off because you're too present, you're texting too much, and you're making it feel less and less like a casual thing. Casual is not bad in the beginning, and you as a guy need to be taking all beginning dates as casual dates. Do not make a decision on any of these women until like month 3, because on average, it takes a woman 2 to 3 months to solidify her feelings. You should be taking that same time to really vet her, because guys, we vet very early on. We think after 2 dates, well, she looks pretty, she talked to me pretty good, and she hasn't fought with me yet in 2 dates. So she's the girlfriend, I can deal with this. And you're not spending time really looking for red flags that could pop up in month 2 or month 4 or whatever, okay? So be more casual in your dating. Be selective. Go out with multiple women in the beginning and then start to narrow it down so it becomes a casual thing for you. It lets them feel on some level that other women want you, which means they should want you, and also gives them time to go through the journey they need to go from casual to considering you as a serious prospect, okay? Now, if you need help with this kind of stuff, this is why I have the Introvert Dating Success Academy, because it's designed to help help you figure out how to be more comfortable with how the dating process actually works best for women, and how you as a guy can learn to be more chill, kind of be more relaxed, kind of know when to make the moves and when to kind of hold back a little bit, know how to escalate properly, know when to do physical touches, all these other various things that lead up to knowing how to get into a relationship, knowing when it's time, when the woman will let you know that it's time, and what kind of negotiations to have to ensure that you're going to have a relationship that goes into it starting at a positive place. If you need help with that, again, go to introvertdatingsuccess.com, click on the products tab, click on the Introvert Dating Success Academy tab, and you'll be able to see everything that comes with the program, all the various videos that you'll get, the 12 weeks of coaching, the bonus materials that you'll get. And if you feel as though you can afford the program, you can definitely apply for it, and we will have a one-on-one conversation about what I can help you with in your dating life. All right? So check that out. Check out the ebooks, audiobooks, and programs there, all designed to help you date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. If you want to support the show, subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Harry Wilmington, and you can also send me a Cash App at $Harry Wilmington. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.